Good morning, traders, and this is your Dow Jones daily review. Now, starting off on the weekly, I just want to highlight the tail that we have here. It's pretty much off a level. There's our weekly swing high, and this will be busy with our third tail now, where buyers are scaling in. So obviously buyers are seeing value here, and are starting to scale in. So if we move to the daily, we actually ended up with an engulfing green candle on the daily. So if you go back a couple of days, we had sort of an exhaustion bar up to the gap, and then we haven't managed to get through this level. Okay, not really a level. I mean, I've got to go back quite far to pinpoint that level there with this inside bar. You would think a more logical spot would be a bit higher up. I'll get the levels for you now, but that's pretty much the daily levels. Actually, I can take it to there. So those are the levels that we need to pay attention to. But before we get there, let's have a look what's happening with the oscillators. Nothing really. We've turned, we've pointed to the upside. So we've bounced off the 200 daily SMA and EMA, and we've come up into this range for a couple of days. And the other thing that I think we need to take cognizance of is that. Okay. Right. Remember, this bar here is not data we want to pay attention to. So I'm just going to do that. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Okay, this bar was incorrect data. So we've got 1, 2, 3 touches. It's pretty much got a flat top at the moment. Okay. We do have this gap here, which hasn't really been closed. For me, a tail into the gap is not a close. I want a full body into the gap for the close. Okay, so one concern that I do have at this stage is we are brewing continuation diversions here. Okay, continuation of the downward trend. So just keep that in mind. Don't take it as gospel, but it's definitely brewing. It's between this, the high of the week and the current high. Okay, and we've also got a grouping of the oscillators here. Okay, so yesterday was rather a challenging day. As I said, we were expecting to move down to the gap close. We moved to the gap close, and let's just use another level here. Here's our gap close. Buyer stepped in, and it was a bit of a battle at the open with this couple of hours here, but essentially we moved up back into this area of congestion here, and now that's where we sit. Okay, so whenever you see this kind of setup, you know that this is indecision. Okay, as you can see, it's big up, big down, big confusion. If I go to the 4 hour, you can see that period there gave us this, not really a pin bar, but it's a range bar. Okay, long tail at the top, fairly long tail at the bottom, and a small body. So that was a range bar, and you can see how there's this area here. Okay, so right now, looking at the oscillator, the moving averages, we are above the moving averages. Moving averages are pointing up. We broke through the 200 EMA, and again, the reason I've got the 200 EMA and the 200 SMA on, look here, you see the 200 SMA was holding up price here, then the 200 EMA was holding up price here. Okay, both of them are pretty critical in this scenario. So I still believe we should be looking for longs, but again, same rule as yesterday, not looking for longs at this level here. Okay, I'd like to see a bit of a pullback and then an opportunity to look for longs. All the oscillators are also indicating that I need to be careful, so that's exactly what we will be doing. Here is diversions, and this is basically reversal diversions. In other words, we're expecting a move to the downside. I'm not 100% convinced because of the way it's been painful, the move it's moved up, but I have a feeling, the painful move to the upside is going to continue. What we need to do here is exactly the same. I'm going to delete all the noise as what we did yesterday. Let's look for fractal levels. So there's our fractal levels at the top, fractal levels at the bottom. I'm really not interested in a long up here. And I'm also not comfortable with a short because we have moving averages pointing up and we are above the 27 and 9 moving averages right now. So in other words, the trend is up. The other thing is the parabolic SR, which is these green dots. As long as we stay above them, the trend is up. Now, if you come back to the hour here yesterday, you can see most of yesterday, apart from this area here, we stayed above it. Okay, so this was, if your entry was down here at the gap close, your stop would have been moved up after every hour, pretty much below these green dots. And technically, your stop should be up here right now. And you should still be in. Okay, but for me at the moment, take the trade, take the profit at the closest exit point, and get on with life rather than trying to stress yourself, especially when you've got a big mix of red and green candles like this, which just indicates that the market is in equilibrium. So in other words, buyers and sellers are that they both have a strategy that's working for them right now. Okay. So yeah, so I'm still looking for longs. I'm looking for this to continue. I'd like to see a bit of a pullback. So, obviously, a bit of a pullback to me right now. The picture we've got here could be pretty much in the middle of this range. So pull back down to 25,874. We need to break through 25,911, or we break down through 25,845. If we do break down to the downside, I would expect the 200 moving averages to hold us up. There is also a swing high here, and I think we should just do this off the 4-hour. And as luck would have it, there's nothing there on the 4-hour, so what we do have though is this breakout. Okay, so nothing really on the 4-hour that would hold up for a move to the downside, but if you look at everything, everything's indicating that we are looking for another move to the downside. Now, I highlighted this the other day. Shoulder, head, and are we building a shoulder? We have built a shoulder now. But ultimately, we need a breakthrough. That's our neckline, okay? Some people take this high as a neckline. I'm more conservative. I'll take this high here. So that is 25,950 is our neckline. So we need to break through that. And we've also got a 200 moving average here. Okay. So yeah, so I would like to see a pullback, even if we sort of come back down to this area of 25,740, which would basically just be this trend line retest. There is no, I suppose there's a little breakout here, but I don't see that transpiring. So this area of 25,7, call it 25,760, that may also be an area of interest. Okay, so before we go, there's a bit of confusion here, as you can hear, but let's just have a look at the ichimoku. So now you see it starts to make sense. We are bouncing off the top of the cloud, and most people that trade ichimoku would be exiting at this point and looking for reason to be short, and that short would be below this tail. They'd have a short entry there with a stop above here. Okay, so that's kind of the way people would be trading us at the moment. We've had a bearish crossover, now we've got a bullish crossover. So that's just a bit of indecision. And we've had a twist and we've broken through. So we've got basically 1, 2, 3 bullish signals. Only problem is that oscillators group to the upside and we're on the top of the cloud. On the daily, we have Kijinson right over here. okay, which basically links back to what I'm saying. If we break above this level of 25,950, is it? Yeah, 25,950. We break above that, then we've got merit for looking for a continuation to the upside. If we drop down to the hour, you should see we tested the cloud yesterday. We broke through, and the trend is still up. Okay, so if you're using the hour for ichimoku right now, you're still looking for a long. If you are long, you're still long, and your stop is more than likely below Kijinsen here. Okay, so we'll drop one more to the half hour. Half hour trend is also up. Okay, so what we're waiting for here is the 4 hour to swing. If a 4 hour gets through the cloud, comes back, tests the cloud, that's going to be your swing entry for the long anyway, because that trend would have changed. And lastly, you can see how that relates to the Bill Williams. You can see how the 4 hour is pointing up. So I'm looking for any kind of little pullback in order to get into this market. Okay, so in summary, let's just get to probably 12 minutes. 12 minutes, I will have levels that I can look for. Okay, this is obviously a fairly decent level to pay attention to. We've got a crossover. We've got a double top forming here. So all you do is just pick up these levels. If I do it on the half hour, there's one there, there's one there. Okay, so there's your tail, there's tails there, and there's tails. This is not an inside tail. Okay, I'm only looking for the inside tails. There's inside tail, there's an inside tail, there's an inside tail, and there's one there. So these are the areas that I would expect some kind of a pullback to. Okay, so any pullback I'm looking to buy, just got to wait for that pullback to play out. And probably, if it doesn't happen during the morning session, let's wait for it in the US session. But as yesterday played out, you're going to have to be so patient. So don't jump the gun. Be patient. Wait for the setup. Look on the 12, 15-minute charts, and you will see some structure forming, oscillators grouping to the downside, coming off a level. That's your entry for a long. Okay, so that's kind of the way I'm seeing this. Basically expecting this to continue in this ranging scenario, come back down here, and that would be an entry. If we do get to this area here, then look how nice and close the stop is. Stop is below the swing low. Oh, that's today's swing low. That may be tested. So just go back below another one. Just put a level in here. Okay, so to be safe, I'd have a swing. I'd have my stop down at 25,800. Okay, 25,800 from this area here is a reasonable 57 points. Okay, so that's kind of my outlook on this for now. Is I'm looking for a bit of a pullback, opportunity to buy, and then I'm buying, going with a trend. All the trends on the 4 hours change. We've got moving averages pointing up. The lower time frames have changed, and ultimately I'm looking for this 200 SMA here. Okay, sorry, 200 EMA. I'm looking for that 200 EMA to be tagged, which is a swing low. Okay, anyway guys, that's my view for now. Hope it helps, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.